Ooh, welcome to episode 68 of Two Guys, One Sport, where I'm still eating my dinner because I forgot to eat dinner, which shouldn't ever happen for a person of my size, but whatever. My name is Chris.
That's one hell of an open. I like it. I can't top it. I already had dinner.
Yeah.
Not only did I already have dinner, but the dishwasher is doing its dishwashing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You know.
Excellent.
I got a wedding in a couple months. I'm trying to lose some weight, so I had some chicken and quinoa, and it wasn't bad.
Not bad. Not
Yeah,
bad at
not
all.
bad. Little soy sauce makes everything better.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was good. A little quinoa in a rice cooker, a little chicken on the stove. Not bad.
Fantastic.
Not bad. Yeah, I can't complain.
All right. How are you,
Chris,
George?
I am great. How has
Great.
your week been?
My week has been actually pretty good.
Good.
Been pretty easy week at work, which I definitely can't complain about.
Nice.
And been preparing all week because I'm going up to upstate New York tomorrow to go visit my sister and her wife, and I'm going to see my mom up there as well. And it's going to be a good time. I'm really looking forward to it. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, can't complain. I'm also going to get to meet my sister's dog for the first time ever, which is
Cool.
Really
What kind
cool.
of dog?
She's got I know it's part black lab, but I don't know what the other part of it is, but it's a very small dog, but she's apparently extremely friendly. So I'm looking forward to it.
I like little dogs, especially when they think they're big dogs and they bark at everything. It's cute.
She doesn't bark at everything. She's very mild mannered, but she is apparently very friendly. So I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. All
right,
Brother Chris, we've had a fun week.
We have had a fun week. It's been.
Do you want to jump right in it and do a match of the week?
How about you start with your match of the week?
Sure. Actually, I have a curveball.
Okay.
Ready? I do not have a match of the week. I have a person of the week.
Really?
Yeah. I wanted to give a shout out to Alex Shelley, who announced on Twitter that he was retiring or stepping away from professional wrestling.
Okay.
He's 35 now. Obviously, we've been watching wrestling long enough to know that retirements don't last.
Mm-hmm.
I think between them, Terry Funk and Bully Ray have retired about 45 times.
Just about.
So,
yeah.
And that may just be Terry Funk.
But yeah.
Bully Ray has been on a 5-year quest where after every show he retires, and then he comes back and then he retires. So retirements don't last. Maybe Shelley's will, maybe it won't. It's wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Guys realize the bank account isn't quite as full as they'd like. You can keep doing this at a relatively advanced age. Lots of reasons.
Yes.
But I feel bad for Shelley to some extent because he was one hell of a talent and an innovator, but he never got a big payday because he was born 10 years too early.
Yeah.
I loved him with Generation Next, and I loved him as a heel with the Embassy. The paparazzi production stuff from Impact with Kevin Nash is like some of the best they've ever done. And obviously, the Motor City Machine Guns are one of the best tag teams of their era.
Yes.
I think that's easy to say. And obviously, the Time Splitters are also one of the best tag teams of their era with Kushida.
Oh, yes.
He had a great look. He was an excellent worker, but he's 35. And if he was 25 coming up now, he would be snatched up in NXT in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Or full-time for the New Japan Juniors.
Yeah.
But he was just kind of out of time,
Strong
promo. Yeah, exactly. He was a time splitter, but it couldn't work. Strong promo, good look, unique style that was ahead of its time in infusing Eurocentric mat work with high spots.
Yeah.
I actually think you can look back at. I think you can. There's like a sliding doors moment where Austin Aries gets the push from gets the title from Samoa Joe, and you can just sub in Alex Shelley getting the title from Samoa Joe and wonder what could have happened. I don't know if he would have been better than Aries, but I think he could have held his own. Each one of those guys. And Aries' career catapulted to a certain level, including a WWE run, and Shelley's career was Shelley's career.
Yeah.
So it's always funny when one moment like that just kind of is the fork in the road. Like I said, if the Shelley of 10 years ago was coming up, NXT would jump all over him and like white on rice.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate that he came of age in the Johnny Ace era, where Ace just made horrible signing after horrible signing after horrible signing of big bodybuilders with tattoos.
Yeah, there were so many bad ones.
Yeah, and they all just kind of blur together. And top indie talent was allowed to flourish. Mm-hmm. And why we got Ring of Honor 06 to 08. And to a lesser extent, why we got TNA 04 to 08. TNA was bad for most of his run. I think that's safe to say for a variety of reasons. But he and Chris Sabin always put on entertaining matches. Mm-hmm. And they were the highlight of most Impacts, was that like 12-minute sprint on TV, versus whomever. There's a litany of good Motor City Machine Gun versus Young Bucks, Motor City Machine Gun versus the Briscoes, Kushida and Shelley versus whomever in New Japan in the junior division.
Mm-hmm.
Back when Ryusuke Taguchi had his fastball, stuff that we've talked about before.
Yes.
But I don't have a match per se, but I wanted to talk about Alex Shelley because he was pretty great. And it sucks that he was kind of left behind,
Mm-hmm.
So that's my close quote of the week.
Right.
Christopher, it's still July.
Yes.
And July starts with a J.
Yes, it does.
In other words, starts with a J that pertains to professional wrestling.
Yes. Joshi
July. What is our
continues.
final installment in Joshi July?
Well, this is a match that I have to say I did not expect to happen. I did not expect to ever see it play out this way, but having watched it now and having seen what exactly took place here, I understand why it did. And I respect the decision that was made, and I think that it is an excellent piece of foresight for the future. We are going to look at a match from May 23rd of this year.
Ooh.
And this match may prove to be one of the defining moments of the year of 2018 for World Wonder Ring Stardom. This is a Wonder of Stardom title match between Momo Watanabe and Io Shirai. Io Shirai, the champion, Momo Watanabe, the challenger. As you know, as we have discussed already several times over the past month or so, Io Shirai has left World Wonder Ring Stardom and is now bound for WWE and NXT and will be competing in the Mae Young Classic, as we have discussed. But she has been, for the first half of this year, or most of the first half of this year, she was, in essence, the prime face of World Wonder Ring Stardom, while World of Stardom champion Toni Storm, who has also since lost her belt, was away with other international obligations. So Io Shirai was back to being the ace of the company, even though she was holding the secondary belt. And she had a very good run up to this point in the year with the belt. She won the belt back in November of 2017 and had, let me just see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 defenses up to that point, including a previous one against Momo Watanabe back in February. And she was essentially, back in the driver's seat as being the face of the company at that point in time. Momo Watanabe is one of Io Shirai's stablemates from Queen's Quest. And after Io Shirai defeated Kagetsu at the previous defense on May 5th, Momo Watanabe came forward and issued a challenge. A challenge of respect, a challenge to prove that she was worthy of having been selected first as Io's second in the stable. Because they had just recently had the Stardom draft as well. And Momo had been Io's first pick to rejoin Queen's Quest. And Momo wanted to prove herself as being worthy of being Io's second. And so she requested this title match, and Io granted it. I'm not going to give the blow-by-blow, because again, just as with last week's match, this match has to be seen to be believed, because this is as much a passing of the torch moment as you will ever get in this company. These two took everything from the previous match that they had back in February and amplified it by a factor of 20 and just took it all the freaking way. It was absolutely insane. The number of crazy counters, the number of times that advantage changed, just back and forth the whole time. Io trying to prove that she was still the superior one, who didn't need to prove that she was still the superior one, but needing to show that her protege, her second, the one that she had chosen to be her right hand in the stable, was still only just the right hand. Well, Momo was out to prove that in that moment, she could inherit the stable from Io without a shadow of a doubt and have every capability of taking over and being the leader and being a leader within the company itself. That was the big emphasis there, because there were at that point in time, the rumors had already started. The rumors were already beginning to spread around that Io might be looking for greener pastures, following in the footsteps of Kairi Hojo from the previous year, who we now know as Kairi Sane, obviously. So Momo, in her effort to prove her respectability, wanted this moment in the sunrise, in the sunlight. And wouldn't you know it, after an absolutely stupendous match that lasted 17 minutes, and this match lasted 17 minutes, it felt like it was about 12 because these two were on overdrive the whole goddamn time.
I love when that happens. Doesn't happen often, but you look at you watch like, 20 minutes have gone by.
Yeah. And after 17 minutes, Momo finally put Io away with the Tequila Sunrise and secured herself the Wonder of Stardom title. And in that moment, Io passed the torch and then announced her retirement. That exact moment, right after the match, passing the torch on in the form of the belt, and then passing the leadership of the stable on as well, and announcing, this is my last time holding a title in Stardom. I'm leaving the company. An absolutely breathtaking moment. A moment of where time stopped and the realization came about first, holy shit, the only person left that's, one of the well-known faces of Stardom is Mayu Iwatani. And then the second moment of looking back on the match that had just happened and realizing this company is going to be perfectly fine because Momo Watanabe is by far one of the most talented wrestlers in the entire Joshi scene right now. The girl has been wrestling for only 3 years, and she is every bit the equal of Io Shirai in the ring. She's got a little bit of technique and character work to work out, but overall, she has everything that you need to have her be a top star in your company. And you want to know the hilarious part about that as well?
Do tell.
Girl's only 18 years old.
Oh,
and she already looks the part, acts the part, and wrestles the part. Momo Watanabe is going to be the ace of Stardom within the next 3 years, and she will carry that company probably for the next 10 if she doesn't get picked up by anybody else first, because she is insanely good. She's gifted. She is every bit the prodigy that we have referred to previous names like Nixon Newell as being, who also was just recently snatched up by WWE. So, without a doubt, I expect Momo Watanabe to be a name to know, a name that will be ringing from the heavens in the very near future. This match is something insane that you have to see to believe. And the crowd, especially the Korakuen Hall crowd, was on fire for this match, and you could tell that they knew the electricity in the air during this whole match. They knew this was a moment in time that they needed to be present for, that they could not miss, and they reacted accordingly. It's one of the best crowds that I've ever seen from a Korakuen Hall Stardom show. and it was incredible to watch. It's on Stardom World. Get Stardom World. Watch the damn match. These two put everything on the table and more. One of the best wrestled matches I've ever seen from either of them. And, obviously, to say that about Io Shirai says a lot, given what her history is. So, find this match. If you don't have Stardom World, go get it. Watch this match and be amazed at what you are about to see. Because
Stardom World, you're missing out. That's pretty obvious at this point. If you haven't learned that through Joshi July, get Stardom World.
Yeah, it's such a good watch. It is such a good watch. You don't want to miss out.
Sweet.
So yeah, that is the conclusion of Joshi July, guys. That is probably that match. I'm gonna say right now is more than likely going to end up in my top 10 for the year.
Love it.
Because
love it.
It's that good. How these two put everything they had in the ring and just left it all out there. 27-year-old Io Shirai, 18-year-old Momo Watanabe wrestled one of the best matches I've ever seen in all of my time watching Joshi. Absolutely phenomenal. And I gotta say, I really hope that Io Shirai taught Momo Watanabe the perils of landing on your neck all the time, because some of those neck bumps on some of those suplexes leave a lot of pain in my neck from watching them. So
yeah, exactly. You get like empathy pain.
Yeah. It's like, be careful, girl. Probably one of my favorite spots in the whole match. I will say this one because I know I didn't give the rundown, but probably one of my favorite spots in the whole match. Late in the match, Io has Momo up, or Momo has Io up in the Tree of Woe and is going for a superplex. Io does sunset flip out, lifts Momo off the turnbuckle, and tries to go for a sit out power bomb. Momo in midair switches out and double knees Io straight in the shoulders and knocks her down and goes for a pinning combination. It's so freaking awesome to watch. It's so good. It's so good. Oh my god. You need to see this match. Go get your Stardom World. Go watch the match. Again, it's from May 23rd of this year, and it is incredible. Don't miss out. Mm-hmm. All right. Team in the chat. Hello, everybody.
Hey, team.
Adam and Zed, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for hanging out. And,
real quick, if you're listening right now, give us a little thumbs up. Click the little thumbs up button.
Say hello.
Appreciate it. We appreciate
love having you guys here. Thank you very much.
Chris, you remember last week when I watched Extreme Rules and I said you owe me one?
Yes.
Okay. I watched another show on Sunday, and this show was good. Actually good. So you don't owe me one for this show.
Okay,
you still owe me one for Extreme Rules.
Oh,
you
yeah.
You don't owe me one. You don't owe me one for this one. I watched Slammiversary.
I didn't even put this on the agenda because I forgot that it even happened.
I watched Slammiversary.
My friend, go right ahead. I'm gonna eat my dinner while
you eat dinner.
Talk.
And this show wasn't just good for Impact. This show was actually good. In fact, this may be my favorite non-New Japan show of the year. Believe it or not.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, my show of the year right now is Dominion or Wrestle Kingdom in either order. Probably Dominion by a nose. But this show's like number 3. It's probably the best North American wrestling show of 2018. Let's do a quick rundown.
Please.
Oh, show opener. Johnny Impact beat Petey Williams, Ray Phoenix, and Bone Soldier Taiji Ishimori. Petey Williams was a late replacement in this match for Rich Swann, who was concussed at MLW. Change would make a difference in the flow of the match. It was a really good show opener in the style of the Car Crash X Division matches of back in the day. Every guy came in, got their shit in, left. Johnny Impact was your focus. Walked away after landing Starship Pain. Great show opener, car crash match. You know what I mean. Bunch of juniors doing junior shit. Not a damn thing wrong with this. Made Johnny Impact look good. Made Ray Phoenix look good. Taiji Ishimori did some cool stuff. I'm going to say 3.5. Fun match.
Okay.
Yeah, fun little opener. Next, we had Tessa Blanchard beating Allie. I have gone off on Tessa Blanchard in the past, as you're aware.
Yes.
I still think she is pretty overrated. I think she gets an unnecessary amount of publicity for the wrestle circus shit she does with like Brian Cage.
Yeah.
You know, I something's missing with me for Tessa Blanchard. I feel comfortable in saying that the Tessa Blanchard push has begun in earnest. If you only need to have listened to Don Callis, who's the color guy for this, rave about Tessa. He's not bad. Rave about Tessa Blanchard, then realize that he has the book. It's like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
the story
which is
of this
why
match
also this week on Impact, Scarlett Bordeaux is debuting.
Hey, Scarlett from Chicago, much like myself.
She's actually pretty good, but
I like that. Did you see that Bond Girl thing she was doing? That was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's a good look for her.
That's kind of a cool change of pace.
I'm not looking forward to Don Callis' horrifically misogynist commentary about her, but
and I'm not looking forward to Scarlett actually wrestling.
Yeah, she actually did okay with her during her stint with Stardom earlier this year. She actually looked all right.
Okay. Is she going to wrestle anyone as talented as she wrestled in Stardom, though?
I mean, Allie's definitely no slouch.
No, Allie's good. And Allie was good in this match.
Yeah, and I mean, Rosemary is also no slouch.
I like Rosemary. You're right. I like Rosemary. Allie emptied the locker.
Valkyrie is also no slouch. Sorry, I keep interrupting you with names.
You're fine. You're fine. Taya Valkyrie, though, has a history of, like, burning bridges, so she may not be around for too much longer. But,
well, I mean, with her husband in Impact, I don't know.
Cross that bridge, pun intended, when we get to it, though.
Yes.
You know?
Yes, very much so.
Allie kept trying to put Tessa away. There was, like, cringy apron spots and stuff. It's like, guys, come on, man. We've all seen the Will Ospreay match. We don't need to see any more apron spots. Tessa powered through all of it, looking great. Secured the victory with a taking a Death Valley driver on the outside, which looked horrendous. Not like botch horrendous, like, oh my God, this person's going to die. Surviving the best super kick ever, surviving Codebreaker, hits the hammerlock DDT and gets the 1-2-3.
All right.
Perfectly paced 11-minute match. 3 stars. Something like that. Not bad, not great. Did exactly what it was supposed to do.
Fair.
Then we had the House of Hardcore match. Eddie Edwards defeating Tommy Dreamer. Are you aware of this Eddie Edwards-Tommy Dreamer feud?
No, but I mean, I try not to be aware of anything involving Tommy Dreamer because he should still be wrestling.
Do you want me to give you like the 20-second synopsis?
Not really.
That's okay. You're getting it anyways. Have another French fry.
Okay.
So Sami Callihan breaks Eddie Edwards' eye with a baseball bat. Like in a match, not like, like he swung and he missed and he hit the guy in the eye and he broke his orbital bone. And so Eddie Edwards was like going crazy Johnny Gargano style. Like, you know how Johnny Gargano was like obsessed with Tommaso Ciampa?
Yeah.
To the point where he's like turning heel, kind of. Well, Mrs. Eddie Edwards in the Candice LeRae role was like, no, Eddie, what are you doing? No, don't be a bad guy. He fights monsters, becomes a monster. Meanwhile, Tommy Dreamer came involved as like Eddie's friend to be like, no, man, it's not worth it. You know? Only the Dark Jedi kill other Jedi, that sort of thing. He didn't actually say that. But Eddie Edwards is so far off the deep end that he thinks Mrs. Eddie Edwards is banging Tommy Dreamer.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That's a storyline straight out of Impact.
Yeah. Yeah. Eddie comes out with new theme music. I liked it. He comes out with a new look because he's a heel. I like it. You know? The match itself was pretty much what you expect out of Tommy Dreamer in the year of our Lord 2018.
Yeah.
It was a pretty standard hardcore match. Don Callis was good here. He put both guys over. All he asked for. Tommy got the crowd. Oh, so get this. So Eddie is the heel and Tommy is the face. So they pull out the table, right? And Tommy is going to puts the lighter fluid on the table, you know? And he goes to light the table, but he drops the lighter because he's a good guy. And he doesn't want to put Eddie Edwards through a table. Because he who fights monsters, right?
Yes.
That shit's cool. Crowd was not happy. They wanted to play the table.
Of course not.
They wanted a flaming fucking table. They did not care.
Use that if you weren't going to pay it off.
Yeah, exactly. They did not care. I get the nuance. I get what they were trying to go for. Like, he who fights monsters becomes a monster, and Tommy Dreamer's not a monster. I get it. I appreciate that. But you got to pay off the flaming table.
Yeah, we've talked in the past about how WWE has all the subtlety of a freaking jackhammer.
Yeah,
and you sometimes you need a little bit of subtlety and nuance. But if you're going to tease the flaming table, that is not the time for subtlety and nuance.
Edwards hits
a simple principle.
No, hits flaming table. Edwards hits a low blow and hits a chair assisted Shining Wizard for the win. I don't know, 2.5. After the match, the two guys tried more table stuff. They teased putting each other through the table. They eventually shook hands. Dreamer hands over the kendo stick, which on commentary was a passing of the torch.
Yeah.
If we get more Eddie Edwards plunder matches, I'm good. I never need to see Tommy Dreamer ever wrestle again.
No,
I'm good. I'm good. Then we had a weird match.
Okay.
Next championship, Brian Cage challenging Matt Sydal. Now, Wrestling 101 is big guy heel, little guy face. Big guy throws little guy around.
Which championship was it?
X Division.
Why the fuck is Brian Cage holding the X Division championship?
No. Sydal's the champion.
Oh, okay.
That's a long time.
Why is Brian Cage challenging for the X Division championship?
Because, Chris, it's not about weight limits. It's about no limits. Samoa Joe was an X Division champion, and he probably weighed more than Brian Cage did.
This is true. Two
things. One, Brian Cage got to slim down a little bit. Yeah. His whole gimmick is that he's like the big guy who does cool lucha shit.
Yeah, more machine than man. But
like when you're as bloated as he is, you're moving slow. It's not as cool.
Yeah, no, it's not he's when
big boy. Drop like 20 pounds, and you can move a little quicker. Probably better on your knees and hips too. To be honest. Also, get this. So the big guy's the baby face, the little guy's the heel. Straight out of Shawn Michaels' Diesel in 1995. Okay.
Right.
What was weird is that the big guy wrestled like a little guy, and the little guy wrestled like a big guy. There was a spot where Brian Cage goes for Hurricane Rana, and Sydal catches him and holds him into a powerbomb. I was like, wait, what? You did that shit ass backwards.
The fuck?
Yes. It didn't work for me because of that shit. Brian Cage won. I need Brian Cage to either be big, powerful weapon of mass destruction or, evil bad guy. I don't need him to be doing lucha shit. He's not. I'm good, man.
Yeah.
It wasn't great, but whatever. I don't know. 2.5, 2 3/4. Goliath was the babyface working like a little man. It was so bizarre, Then we had Su Yung versus Madison Rayne for the Knockouts Championship.
Yeah. Su Yung is champion, by the way.
Su Yung is all gimmick.
Really?
It's weird on this show, and it's very similar to what we've talked about with NXT. Impact prides itself on being a serious wrestling promotion with serious wrestlers. Just like NXT does, right? Yeah. This is a serious place with serious characters, and we have the Undead Zombie Bride. Pay no attention to the Undead Zombie Bride. A little better than I expected.
I mean, to be fair, they do have friggin' Demon Assassin Rosemary, so, it's... I don't know how much we can entirely go with that since they've kept her in that role despite the fact that what's the freaking Abyss and Crazy Steve are no longer doing their thing.
I will say this. It was like 7 minutes, which was perfect time. You didn't let the match break down or there'd be too many Undead Bride interference run-ins to frustrate the crowd. Madison showed good fire, landed a couple near falls. Outcome was never really in doubt.
Yeah.
Finish was kind of cool. So
in 2018, you're not giving Madison Rayne the knockout championship.
I'm good. Yeah. So you know how Madison Rayne does the crossroads? Su Yung countered it into the mandible claw. That was a cool finish.
Yeah.
That was well done. Rayne was put into the coffin after the match. Yeah. Maybe she's going to be in the Mae Young. Maybe not. I don't know. Don't know. Don't know. Whatever. Bye-bye, Madison Rain.
Yeah.
Then we had an awesome match.
Hit me.
The Impact World Tag Team Championship 51-50 street fight between LAX of Santana and Ortiz with Conan, defeating Homicide and Hernandez back from the grave with Eddie Kingston. Chris, it has been
Homicide and Hernandez.
Yes.
With Eddie Kingston.
Chris, first of all, Eddie Kingston is like one of the best promos in the world right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that was never. That's not what I'm confused by.
The Impact, like the skits between Kingston and Conan about like being like Latin American gangbangers and like running drugs. It's like straight out of a Brian De Palma movie. It's awesome.
Yeah.
This shit is so good. LAX came out with the war paint. They're coming out through the crowd. Crowd's into it. Great crowd, by the way. 1,000 people. Props to you, Impact. You finally sold the fucking house. Only took you 3 years. But hey, you got to crawl before you can walk. You finally sold some fucking tickets to a wrestling show. You know?
Yeah.
Santana and dominated early. I was kind of worried how the OGZ team would look, as they both kind of are ancient. And not like they were like, you know, not like they were Kenta Kobashi and Kento Miyahara beforehand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, exactly. We're not talking about freaking craft work
here.
I
thought they were going to fade in the middle. They didn't. They hung with the young kids. The young kids were beating the shit out of the old guys. The old guys were beating the shit out of the young guys. Ortiz got thrown into the crowd. Homicide breaking out the cannonball senton through the ropes to a table like it's 2007. And I am standing up and I'm popping for this shit. It's good. He's got a bottle of Drano like he's back in Ring of Honor. The referee's getting yanked out. Hernandez is throwing border tosses. The difference maker was Conan and his cane interfering.
Of course.
You know, normally I'd rag out about the interference, but this was a balls to the wall, 15-minute bloodbath that I hope these four dudes wrestle for the rest of the year. It was, he distracts Homicide, throws the tax to Santana, who scoop slams Homicide into the tax and hits a frog splash, retains their title. 4 1/4. This match fucking ruled. Would recommend that you watch it. Loved it. I see people even go 4.5. Sure. Great. Fine. Whatever. Watch this match. Best Impact match all year that I've seen. I haven't been watching a lot of the television, but I am jumping in and out for the big matches. You know?
Yeah.
After the match, Kingston and the OGs, which I like to just say, laid out Conan and LAX, spray painted the tag team titles like it's 1997 NWO. Josh Matthews called this a war, but it wasn't really a war. It was like the opening battle of a war. I'm in for more of these guys. Yeah, great stuff.
That's how you managed to do the opening of a feud at your biggest show of the year.
Yes.
Take notes, WWE.
Yes. Thank you. That's what you do. You have a decisive finish, not a clean finish, but a decisive finish. I mean, Homeboy ate the tax and the frog splash, you know? Wasn't a slip on a banana peel, pull the tights. You know, the interference led to the tax. Sure, it's not 100% clean. A, it's a garbage match. You're not getting a real clean finish in a garbage match. And B, it was still decisive. And C, it was the opening feud in the war. And D, the heels stood tall. Tells you the baby faces are making a comeback. Let's talk about Pentagon Jr. versus Sami Callihan. Pentagon Jr., the other great promo in wrestling, even though I don't speak Spanish. Doesn't matter. You don't have to speak Spanish to understand Pentagon Jr. is going to kill you and eat your children. You know?
Yeah.
So
he is the lucha skeleton, yes.
Yeah, he's going. You don't have to speak a word of Spanish to understand that home slice has all the charisma in the world.
Oh, yeah. I am so desperate to see him at a live show. I need to keep an eye on him.
It's great. He comes to AEW. It's so
really
awesome.
Keep an eye out on the local New Jersey shows and see when he's going to be here.
The cool thing, I'm sure this will happen in New Jersey, New York, New Jersey, wherever, Pennsylvania, because I'm going to assume that you guys have a large Mexican population up there, right?
Yes.
Like whenever Pentagon or Phoenix or both come to AEW, it turns to the Lucha show. You got like Latin America, because normally you go to like an indie show and it's like people like us, right? People 18 to 30, 18 to 35, men. Although there are women there, but that's the general target audience, right? I joke about them, the rest of them neckbeards. But like a Pentagon comes to an AEW show or Phoenix, all of a sudden you got a lot of Latin Americans. It's like of all ages. It's like a family thing. Like grandfather is there with his kids, and they're there with their kids, and they'll have noisemakers and little drums, and it's awesome. It's like a little slice of Arena Mexico right in your bingo hall. It's great. So if Pentagon's in your area or Phoenix is in your area, go check it out.
Yeah.
This match started as a beatdown of Sami Callihan, and a long beatdown. I'm like, oh, yeah, whatever. And I'm like, they're going to be really hard to top the last match. But by God, they did. Weapons came into play, and spikes, and these guys are beating the shit out of each other. Weapons and spikes, claw hammers. Pentagon is using a baseball bat to hammer a railroad spike into Callahan's scalp, and Callahan's just split open. Instead of elbows and forearms in a spike exchange, in a chop exchange, these guys are using spikes. OVE got involved, and the match kind of lost its way a little bit.
Yeah.
I get it.
That was to be expected, though. I mean, OVE, if Sami Callihan is there, OVE is going to get involved. That's just reality.
Pentagon beat Sami after multiple arm breaks and package pile drivers. I thought Sami kicked out of too much. After the second package pile driver, I'm like, okay. Yeah, okay. I thought these two had a better match in AEW a couple years ago for the belt.
Yes.
Pentagon won.
Yeah, you've told. Wasn't that last year?
May have been last year. Maybe in late 2016. It's when I got drunk with Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, okay, that was late 2016.
That same show. Yeah, when I got drunk with Zack Sabre
Jr. I do remember you talking about that. Yeah, that was late 2016. Yes.
Late 2016 because I was still living in the burbs instead of living in the city.
Right.
Callahan is a dastardly heel whose mouth writes checks his ass can't cash. I'm okay. So 3 super kicks, breaks the arm, hits the package pile driver, wins. 3 3/4. Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Callahan tries to run away, but it's mask versus hair. So Phoenix comes out and drags his ass back to the ring, shaves him bald. Crowd loves it.
Nice.
Good stuff. Bound for
that
glory,
I'm 100% okay with because
he has horrible hair.
The freaking rat rug on his head needs to go.
Bad.
So thank God that's gone.
And unlike Baron Corbin, we got a little bit of payoff. Bound for Glory is at something called the Melrose Ballroom in New York City, October 14th. If that means anything to you.
That is
Never heard
the middle of the month.
October 14th, Melrose Ballroom in New York City.
Wait, Melrose? Is that what they did with the Roseland? Hang on.
I don't know. Google.
Because so many freaking venues.
It's in Queens.
It's in Queens.
Melrose Ballroom, 33rd Street, Queens, New York.
Wow, this is right in the middle of freaking Astoria.
Yeah.
Wow.
Next to all sorts of stuff. Next to about 14 train stops.
Yep, sounds about right for New York City. Yeah.
And apparently all of them suck.
Oh yeah.
Apparently your public transit sucks, right?
Yep.
Well, not yours anymore, but their
not mine anymore.
Not your problem.
Yeah.
So, main event. Austin Aries champion defeating Moose. For the first time in a long time, a really important world title match had the chance to take a show from great to show of the year. I'm like, I'm going into this match and I'm saying this is like a 3 1/4 or 3 3/4 4-star match. This is a show of the year. And we know what Austin Aries brings to the table. He's a star. So all the question marks relate to Moose. Remember when Moose was hot? Like super hot? Then he signed with Impact and he wasn't hot. Yeah. And would he deliver in the biggest match of his career? I think it's safe to say that this was the biggest match of his career. You're main eventing a pay-per-view. Like, that's a big deal for the championship. And Moose brought it. He played his part in a top-level, dramatic main event that felt it could go either way at any point. Every strike he landed, Chris, had malice and purpose and nastiness, and I loved it. I love when guys beat the shit out of each other. He used his size and strength to bully Aries, threw him from the ramp into the crowd. Yeah. Aries, for his part, bumped like a mofo.
Which is one thing that he is good at, absolutely.
Very good at. Yeah. I bought the go-to-hell powerbomb for a near fall. Aries tries the low blow and there's a callback to how he won the title. And Moose blocks it and hits him with a brain buster, like he's Tomohiro Ishii, and I'm like, yeah, go Moose.
Yeah.
Moose Aries, for his part, blocked the spear with the last chancery, which I loved.
Ooh, that sounds awesome. I need to see that
fucking
spot.
Great.
Let me find a gif of that. Holy crap.
Blocking a spear with the last chancery, and I'm like, all right, this match is pretty fucking good.
Let me see this. I'm gonna find this.
He's doing the hit and run stuff. He's trying to use his savvy. Hits a brain buster.
Oh my god, I just found this gif. Holy
Isn't it awesome?
Thank goodness for TDE wrestling, seriously.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is beautiful.
You know?
That is beautiful. Holy shit. That's amazing.
Get this. In the end, Austin Aries tries to use the world title belt, but he's stopped by Curtis Granderson, former Mets, Tiger, White Sox, Yankee, man of Chicago. At least he went to school here. A friend of Moose's in real life, so he was there in the crowd, and Aries grabbed the belt, and this guy reaches and grabs the belt and says, "No, you dastardly heel." Yeah, he doesn't say that. I would have popped if he'd called him a dastardly heel. Moose gets the schoolboy roll up, and by fucking Christ, I thought he was going to do it, and he didn't. And I'm like, damn it, bought that finish. Aries comes out of the schoolboy, hits the soccer kick, another vicious one. He laid these kicks in all night.
Yeah.
Another brain buster, wins the belt. In a match that could have bombed, that could have been tropey, that could have been TNA, low TNA. These guys, I would not call this a home run. I would easily call it a standing double. Runners in scoring position. Moose gave the best performance of his career, I felt like. I've never been as enthralled with a Moose match as I was this night. He lost nothing because he showed he wasn't that far away. I think he is a made man at this point. Now, if he has 3-4 more challenges for the title and loses, he can lose his made man status.
Oh, yeah.
But I think he is a made man as of now. Austin Aries, you don't need me to rave about Austin Aries. He's pretty fucking awesome.
I mean, in the ring, he's got what it takes. I mean, outside the ring, he's a piece of shit, but, in the ring, he's got what it takes.
He's had a very good year in the ring. I went 4 flat. Loved this match. Loved it a lot. I think I had 1, 2, 3, scrolling up. I had 4 matches make the spreadsheet.
Nice.
And you could talk me into Tesla versus Alley. You could talk me into like 3 and 3, 3 and a quarter, maybe even 3.5. I feel nice.
Yeah.
So, I had 4 matches make the spreadsheet, Chris. I don't think I've had 4. I have not had a wrestling show WWE's put on that had 4 matches make the spreadsheet.
Yeah, I would be hard pressed for you to find 4 WWE matches this whole year that would make the spreadsheet.
Yeah, I mean, not lately.
Yeah,
not lately. There was some cool stuff early on when Roman Reigns was wrestling. I'm like super early in the year.
Yeah,
I think I went 4 flat with like a Roman Reigns Samoa Joe match on like New Year's Day, which may be like the high point of main roster WWE. To be honest, on New Year's Day, your year peaked New Year's Day.
Yeah, that's
so sad.
That's a bad sign.
It's not good for the old resolutions.
Nah.
So, I thought this. What I liked about this, by the way, it was booked like a New Japan show. The little matches started, the big matches ended. You didn't have any filler bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what?
That whole
and
thing
it proves that
if you dead spot matches, I hate that.
I hate that. If you put on a good show, you don't need a cool down match. The crowd will stay with it.
Cool down match. The whole principle of a cool down match in and of itself is just awful.
Crowd was sold out. Always happy to see. Yep.
A
lot of bullshit with TNA, but they delivered. We'll call a spade a spade. Now, I don't know where they go from here because of the limitations of their TV deal, but that's a different conversation for a different time.
Well,
we can talk about that later.
Based on what I just saw on Twitter, just as a real quick thing, apparently they're having Sami Callihan play a whole angle of being unhinged because he got his head shaved.
What is he, Samson?
So yeah, apparently he caught a dude looking at him weird in the mirror because of his shaven head, and so he shaved that guy's head.
Cool. Okay.
So yeah,
I'm good. The problem with TNA / Impact, I know they go by Impact now, but I'm gonna call them TNA because fuck it, it's my show, Chris. There's 3 problems with TNA.
Okay.
There's nothing they can really do to fix this besides put on good television for a long time and hope for some word of mouth.
Yeah.
There's 3 problems, none of which they can fix. 1, their company history has turned off a shitload of wrestling fans.
Yeah.
With good reason.
Yeah.
2, the channel they're on. It may be in a lot of homes, but no one knows where the hell it is. Do you know where Pop is on your cable listing?
Fuck no. I wouldn't even know what.
When I had cable, I didn't know where Pop was, and
I wouldn't even know what like channel package to look in if I wanted to get Pop. Like, because you know how all the cable providers, it's like, yo, you get this package, you get all these channels. If you get this package, you get all these channels. I wouldn't even know where to look.
And 3,
like at least I know with El Rey, if I wanted to get El Rey, I'd have to be looking for the Latin American package.
Yeah, like the weird premium channels. Pop, I couldn't tell you. Like,
not a chance.
And the fact that they're being outdrawn by like Days of Our Lives reruns is not a good sign either.
No, not in the least.
And 3, the biggest issue for Impact is it has never been easier in history to watch good wrestling via streaming service. Whether it's the WWE Network or NJPW World or Stardom World or All Japan streaming service or Powerbomb TV or whatever.
Progress.
Exactly.
There are so many different options.
All the DDT has their own streaming service. Whatever you want to watch, you can watch. Like, you know, it has never been easier to watch good wrestling. So it's very tough for Impact to stand out. But never say never. They got something going here. So let's hope they can keep it up. This was a good show. I would recommend that you watch it. I would really recommend you watch that tag match.
Oh, yeah. That was, from what you described of that, I actually am going to like seek
check
that
it out. That was fun. Real good match. Main event was good too because Moose delivers. Tag match was fun. I would recommend. The tag match is maybe not a match of the year contender, but in the others receiving votes category. Like if I did a top 20, it would be like 15, 16, 14. You know, but I don't think it's making the top 10. But not a damn thing wrong with being the 14th best match in this awesome year of professional wrestling. You know? So, and that being said, it's like 15 minutes. It's not like you're watching some long-ass epic.
Mm-hmm.
So, Christopher, watch this show if you got time.
I will find the time. This actually sounds like it's interesting.
It's interesting. I believe me. I was the same way. I was like, I'm going to watch this show. I'm going to watch the show because I got nothing going on. I'm going to hold it over Chris's head when this sucks. And then about 2 matches in, I was like, oh, this show doesn't suck.
Yeah.
So, what you got for us, my friend?
All right.
You got about an hour. What do you got?
All right. Well, we've got a couple of things. We're going to talk about 2 things first that are kind of intertwined. And we'll start with our latest round of entrants in the Mae Young Classic. And we'll use that to segue into the next thing. So, here's what we have. The Mae Young Classic, the second Mae Young Classic, is taking place in, I think, 2 weeks. Is going to be taped down at the Performance Center in good old, or not the Performance Center, at Full Sail in good old Winter Park, Florida. The field has expanded even further now. Last week we announced, I think it was 10 participants. We have 8 more to announce this week, several of which are returning names from last year's tournament. So we'll cover those first. First of all, Mercedes Martinez, a semifinalist from last year's Mae Young Classic, making her return. The Latina sensation, obviously, well known to most independent wrestling fans and well known to a lot of mainstream wrestling fans as well. She has got a resume longer than most wrestlers could even hope to accumulate in their career. Still got it, even though she's in her late 30s and can bring it in the ring like nobody else. Excellent addition. Also returning, Mae Young.
She should be a trainer when she decides to hang it up.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. She should join the PC. Train with Sarah Amato and all them. Also returning is Mae Young, who we have talked about extensively as well. Coming off of an injury that she suffered in late 2017, she suffered a leg injury that put her on the shelf for a few months, but has since returned to action and has adjusted her style to emphasize strikes and submissions instead of a lot of her high-flying maneuvers that she used to bring about. Another one who also was ousted early on in the tournament, also much like Mercedes Martinez, ousted by Shayna Baszler, the eventual runner-up in the tournament and current NXT Women's Champion. And we can expect her to do well as well. There is some speculation that she may actually be doing something longer-term with WWE. Nothing set in stone yet, but it is certainly a possibility. The other returning name, the third returning name announced this past week, is Kavita Devi, the first Indian woman to ever compete in a WWE ring, trained by the great Khali. She has been training at the PC, has been with the Performance Center this whole year. We last saw her actually at WrestleMania in the women's WrestleMania Women's Battle Royale, and she is making her return to the ring since then with the Mae Young Classic 2. So we can expect to see her there. New names that have been announced. We've got quite the international flavor to the names that have been announced this week. 5 new names. First of all, Killer Kelly, who we saw at the NXT tapings in London earlier this year. Heavy emphasis on strikes and mat work and suplexes. She's from Portugal. She's 26 years old, has an MMA background, and is excellent all around in the ring. Very vicious style. You're going to like her stuff a lot.
Nice. I'm excited.
The first women's champion in the history of WXW also, for the record.
Okay.
Which, should tell you just enough about her resume to convince you that she's got what it takes. Next, a name that was highly purported to be part of last year's tournament, did not make the cut for whatever reason, but is here now. Lucha Strong Style Queen Zeuxis from CMLL. She is probably one of the most highly touted luchadoras in all of Spain. She defeated Princesa Suhei in September in a mask versus mask match, making and therefore unmasking Princesa Suhei, who's herself a legend in the luchadora scene. And describes herself as Puerto Rican power. She brings extensive and wide-ranging style to the ring. Has more than 800 matches under her belt in the course of her career, and finishes her opponents off frequently with a top rope Spanish fly that would make Will Ospreay blush. She is stellar, and I'm really looking forward to see what she brings to the tournament. I think she'll be a much better luchadora inclusion than Princesa Suhei was last year. Next, we have Isla Dawn from Scotland, the significant other of your former NXT champion, Aleister Black. We'll get to that in just a little bit. She also recently competed during the NXT UK tapings. That was part of the United Kingdom Championship tournament. She refers to herself as a modern-day witch as part of her gimmick. She has a heavy emphasis on striking and kickboxing through her through her style, and has been trained by Killian Dane and in her travels. And she's an excellent indie competitor. She's been with she's done stuff with Progress. She's done stuff with OTT, a lot of other UK and area-based promotions in the British Isles. And I'm looking forward to seeing what she brings. She's relatively young, but she is excellent in what she brings to the table. Next up, we have Karen Q, who has made quite the splash for herself during the past year as part of Women of Honor. She has a hell of a style to her, on par with Deonna Purrazzo in terms of technical work in the ring, and quite a lot of high-flying work as well. She is she's very good with submission work as well. Her finish, more often than not, is a variation of the Boston Crab that she calls the spring roll because, Chinese American, you gotta, work that in somehow, I guess. And it's purported that she might be getting signed long-term at the Performance Center as well, though nothing official has been announced yet. But she has not done a whole lot with Women of Honor as of late, so there's a lot of speculation going on about what Karen Q's future is. And if she goes far in the tournament, you can expect that she might be named to watch for a future NXT signing. And finally, the last new competitor to be announced for this Mae Young Classic 2. And what will be the segue into this next segment that we have for the show. Lacey Lane, who is newly signed to the Performance Center, was a member...
Strong name, by the way.
Yes. A member of the 2012 NCAA Division II Championship basketball team at Shaw University. She transitioned from basketball into wrestling and trained at the Dudley Boys facility before trying out for the Performance Center. And she's previously done small independent dates throughout the U.S. and Mexico. Nothing with really any huge promotions, but she has a little bit of work under her belt, and maybe making a big time splash going forward. So we shall see. And Lacey is the third woman from the most recent NXT class to be signed to be announced for the Mae Young Classic. And we want to take a look at that NXT class. But before we do, real quick, of those 8 names that I just gave you, any of them stand out to you as being potential deep runs or possible champions of this new Mae Young Classic?
I could see Mercedes. I could see Mercedes making another run.
Yeah,
but I don't know about deep. You know, I don't know. I haven't really. I got to sit down with an actual list.
Yeah,
of a full blown list and start planning a bracket out.
Yeah, we've only got 18. We've only got 18 so far, which is a little more than half the field. I'm
going to defer to you here, and friend of the show, Philip Dawson. You two are both much more savvy women's wrestling fans than I am.
Yeah.
I like Mercedes a lot. I think she brings a lot to the table. I like that her look is different with the tattoos and everything. You know, and I think she's an excellent worker. Yes. So I think she can make another deep run. She was a semifinalist last year. I don't know if she'll be there again, but I can easily see her winning a couple matches.
Yes.
So I'm going to go with Mercedes.
All right.
Go with the veteran. Go with the veteran savvy.
Yeah. I'm personally expecting for Zeuxis to make a deep run because I know they like to bring the international flair, and I know that they especially want to highlight the fact that she is, going to be showcasing a very different style from anybody else in the tournament. I mean, they did that with Princessa Suhei last year with mixed results because Princessa Suhei is, up there in years in terms of her wrestling career. Zeuxis has been around for a while, but definitely not as long as Princessa Suhei has. So I think that Zeuxis will probably make a pretty deep run. I would expect to at least the quarterfinals because her in-ring skill is far too good for her not to be at least that far in. If she gets knocked out before then, I will be very surprised because, I mean, they've been talking about having her with the company for quite a while now. So that is something to consider. And there's a lot of potential here with a lot of these names, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens. So yeah, it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one for sure.
Do you want to talk about our Lord and Savior Stephanie McMahon blessing the women with another trinket?
We will get to that in just a little bit. Let's talk about this NXT class first.
Sure.
So the class itself consists of 9 names. We've talked about 4 of them so far already on the show. The headliners of the class, very obviously, are Keith Lee and Io Shirai. Keith Lee actually made his. This is the only quote unquote spoiler that I will give for the most recent set of NXT tapings, which is that Keith Lee did make his in-ring debut at last night's television tape, or at the last week's television tapings, I should say. That is the only bit of spoiler material that I will that I will give. It's not certain whether his match will actually be part of the next set of NXT episodes to air, or if that was just a dark match. But he did make his debut, so they are definitely planning to use him right out the gate. So, and obviously we on this show have talked extensively about what Keith Lee brings to the table. We love that man. He is incredible. And he's going to do amazing things. As long as they allow him to exercise the full extent of his talent, he is going to be a game changer in NXT, without a doubt. Anything to add on about that?
On the friendly fellow?
On the friendly fellow, yeah.
I mean, call back to what I said last week. Your heroes can't save you in this company.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that NXT is like watching a good Quentin Tarantino movie.
Yeah.
You know you're going to watch something great, but you go in knowing that all your favorite characters are going to be dead by the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we are here. Am I going to get cool-ass Keith Lee matches where he's throwing guys around and doing cool Keith Lee shit, and everyone's going to be basking in his glory? Mm-hmm. Fuck yeah. And then he's going to get called up to the main roster, and
we're all going to cry.
But you know what? I mean, don't cry that it's over. Smile that it happened, right? So I'm
Exactly.
looking forward to getting cool Keith Lee matches in NXT.
Mhm.
Cool ass shit in takeovers. He's gonna wrestle Adam Cole and Dominik Dijakovic, whatever the hell you call him nowadays.
Dominik Dijakovic.
Yeah, it's a horrendous
It's
name.
a mouthful. It's a mouthful.
Fucking terrible name. Terrible. Terrible.
Can I just say the amount of shit that he's gotten on Twitter and how masterfully he's responding to it as a heel
I wish he was
actually excellent.
Wish he was better at coming up with names as he was coming up with comebacks.
Yes, well, I mean, you can't blame him for the NXT naming machine.
No, but I mean, the story goes is that you submit like 5 names and they pick one. So he submitted that.
Really?
Yeah, that's a story that you submit a bunch of names and then they pick the one that they like. But you submit it, so he's the one who picked that. But hey, whatever, don't matter. He's gonna wrestle. It's gonna be fine. Like you're here. I talked about this last week. You know, no one's saving this company. You know, so. But that being said, we're gonna watch
no one can save you. No one can save you from yourself, as the saying goes.
But we're gonna watch Keith Lee do cool Keith Lee shit. So that'll be fun.
Yes, that will be enjoyable, for sure.
For sure.
And speaking of names to watch that will bring us cool stuff.
Did he wrestle as Keith Lee?
Yes, he did. And they're retaining Limitless and Bask in My Glory. So
okay, that helps.
That helps for sure.
That helps. Yes. Does he get to keep that cool song? Probably not, right? Even though he did write it.
I mean,
that's too bad. That was a cool song.
I hope so, because that song is amazing, but there's like a 99.99999% chance that they did their own thing.
We get some weird generic riff.
Weird CFOs style stuff. So yeah. And another name who will give us cool things while she's there, Io Shirai. Best women's wrestler on the planet, top three wrestlers on the planet, regardless of gender. We just talked about her. She's gonna do amazing stuff. If she's not NXT Women's Champion within the space of 2 years, I will be, stunned out of my boots. And I don't even own boots, so that should show you just how stunned I'll be. So
you'll be stunned into someone else's boots.
Yes.
Yeah, everything I said about Keith Lee applies to Io Shirai.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll be more because she's better. No offense, Keith.
Oh yeah, that goes without saying. And she's also got a much longer career in front of her because she's 27 and he's 32.
Except she's 27 with the neck of a 55-year-old.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the only.
And Keith Lee is, the fact that Keith Lee is 300 pounds and Io Shirai is 110 pounds helps in Keith Lee's favor.
Yeah, so shockingly enough, yeah.
That being said, I imagine a guy like Keith Lee being that big, all those moonsaults and shit aren't good for his knees.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll tone it down. But you know what? Here's the deal. He could be just like Shinsuke Nakamura and tone it down and get by on his charisma and be totally fine and wrestle for another 10 years. So.
Yeah. I mean, that is the one place where the WWE style becomes worthwhile. So, next, another name that we have talked about, Deonna Purrazzo, who is also a part of this NXT class. Another
good for her, by the way.
Yeah,
dragging herself from like next to nothing into NXT. Good for you.
Yes. Also, dragging herself from having been, basically a jobber in NXT to now being, a premier name in this class that is being signed, the third biggest name in this class for sure. I hope that what they do with her right out the gate is do everything that they can to erase the stink of her previous NXT stint from her. If not, just completely ignore that it ever happened. That would be the thing that I would hope they would do. Just completely ignore that it ever happened. Don't even address it and just move on from it to having her be the virtuoso that she is. And I think that a big part of that is going to be in how deep her run is in the Mae Young Classic too, because she is going to be part of that as well. My guess is that they're going to have her go pretty far, probably through at least the second round, if not further, and have her really show that she is a dangerous submission specialist, because that's something that actually is sorely needed among the women's titles, the women's scene in NXT. Apart from Shayna Baszler, who is obviously the champion, they don't really have a whole lot of submission based wrestlers.
No,
so
I like it, and more differentiation is better than less differentiation.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, they have had Kairi Sane break out a new submission move here and there on the house show circuit. It may have been on NXT TV as well by this point. I'm not sure, but somebody who is entirely based around mat work is hard to find outside of Shayna Baszler. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out for Deonna, and I think that she's going to really do well in this next run of NXT. Especially now that she's had a few years, got a whole lot more seasoning under her belt, has learned from some of the best along the way, and has maintained herself as being a name to watch, despite the fact that she was shit on pretty hard during her time with NXT. People remembered her name from that, and then realized, oh wait, this girl's actually really fucking good, and I've stuck by her since then. So good for her for that, especially.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You talk about climbing every rung of that ladder,
Yeah, 100%. And as again we talked about, also Lacey Lane, the last competitor in the Mae Young Classic that we have already discussed, and it's unclear what she's going to bring to the table because again, not a lot of her career is known to the larger wrestling sphere. But I'm interested to see what she brings to the table. She's got a good look. And I think that, having trained under the Dudley Boys, they've got enough experience under their, in their careers to be able to train people very competently. Usually people who graduate from their school do very well. Bianca Belair, one name that immediately comes to mind. So I can't see her doing poorly. It's just really just going to be a matter of how much of a chance to give her.
She has an athletic background, and that's a huge step in the right direction.
Yes. All right, and the rest of the names in this class, the remaining 5 names in this class, are all people who do not have professional wrestling background, but come from other athletic backgrounds. So, first of all, we have 24-year-old former gymnast Stacey Irvin Jr.
Big fan of the former gymnast, by the way. Gymnasts are super athletes.
Yes.
So
5'8", 180 pounds, former member of the University of Michigan's 2013 NCAA Men's Championship gymnastics teams. Plenty of medals to his name. He won a bronze medal in the 2015 U.S. floor exercise and the 2015 Winter Cup floor exercise silver medal. And apparently is going to be showing off quite an incredible acrobatic aerial style. I expect him to be groomed for 205 Live, and if he pans out, we'll probably see him in 205 Live sooner rather than later. If he is as good with the high flying stuff as he's touted to be, so he's got some potential to him. Then we have Luke Menzies from West Yorkshire, England, from the background of professional rugby. 6 foot tall, 260, played pro rugby for a decade, working with the Hull Kingston Rovers and Salford Red Devils, among others, and trained by British wrestling legend Marty Jones. Competed in the UK independent scene for the past 2 years, or I should say he competed with the UK scene since 2016, and then did a tryout with the PC in November of that year. So they've had him on the radar for a while. They think he probably has some potential to him, and he definitely has the look. Guy looks like a slightly shorter Brock Lesnar from 2003. So, but a little bit more of a baby face than Brock Lesnar did at that time. So he's got some potential as a powerhouse. I could see him doing some good work.
Again, the more different styles are better.
Yep. Then we have Taishan Dong, 290-pound, 7-foot tall Chinese boxer.
I'm going to say this ain't going to work.
Once called the most intimidating boxer on this earth by Sporting News. Hails from the city of Langzhou, capital city of the Gansu province. Formerly signed with Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions. He goes by the nickname The Great Wall. Has a 6-0 record in his pro boxing career.
That's a great nickname for a Chinese boxer.
Yeah, really.
Great job coming up with that.
Yeah. 6-0 record in his pro boxing career. Also has experience with basketball and kickboxing, including a 2013 defeat of one Bob Sapp who you might know from the MMA.
I do know Bob Sapp. Yep.
World. So possibility, but given the history of what has happened in the past with these kinds of prospects, not sure how that's gonna go.
Yeah, that's a very wait and see.
Yes, very much a wait and see.
We'll see.
Next up,
take a flyer on a guy. If he sucks, who cares? You're out what, $100,000? Big deal.
Yep.
You're making millions and millions of dollars. You can spend $100 large on a giant Chinese boxer.
Yep. Next, we have Monique Jenkins, better known by her name MJ Jenkins, from Brooklyn, New York. Trained by Hall of Famer Johnny Rodz. Made her in-ring debut in 2011 and has been in and around the American independent scene sporadically during that time. Also coached at Dudley's 3D Academy. Has wrestled in the Northeast, New England, Florida, and the Dominican Republic. And she was part of the Arnold Classic in 2016, where she attended her first WWE tryout, and this past February as well at the Performance Center. So she is clearly a weightlifting background as well, much like one Dana Brooke, who has had mixed results over time, but could potentially be good if her training from the Dudleys and from Johnny Rodz proves to be worthwhile. Maybe she'll have something to offer. Who knows? We shall see. And finally, we have former All-American wrestler Denzel Dejournette. 6'2", 260.
Another strong name.
Yep.
Some great names in this class.
Definitely. 6'2", 260, was part of the Appalachian State Mountaineers. Finished 8th in the 2017 NCAA Heavyweight Wrestling Championships and is a 3-time NCAA qualifier and a 2-time Southern Conference Wrestler of the Year. 113 wins during his collegiate career. So he's a very young guy, somebody who seems like they would probably want to invest some time into training. So I suspect that will be, if he does pan out to be worthwhile, it will be a long time before we see him doing anything. But he has that strong name and he has a strong background going for him in amateur wrestling. And we've seen that a lot of amateur wrestlers have some success recently. Akam and Razar from the Authors of Pain come to mind immediately. And there have been plenty of others as well. So I could see him, being somebody that they choose to invest some time in and, maybe given the proper amount of time and coaching, turn into a successful prospect. We'll see. And that's the class. That's all of them.
Cool. We'll see what happens.
You got any...
Excited for Lee, excited for Shirai, excited for Perazo. The rest, the rest are projects. We're not going to see them on TV for a while.
Yeah.
If ever. But some guys get signed and don't make TV, and then you never hear from them again.
Exactly, yeah. So you never know.
You never know. But hey, it's just like real sports, right? You got to sign some minor leaguers. Some of them make the big league roster, some of them don't. But doesn't mean you don't take flyers on guys. So
sometimes you're the Minnesota Vikings and you sign Brock Lesnar.
Yeah. Sometimes the Minnesota Vikings and you sign Brett Favre. Yeah.
Why is it always the Minnesota Vikings that are making these mistakes? I wonder.
Because we like to make fun of them.
Yes.
but we've talked before about their methodology in which they train people is flawed and inefficient. But
yes,
it's not changing. It's not changing. Nothing matters, man. It's so easy to be so nihilistic about this company, man.
Yeah.
Nothing matters. Nothing's gonna change. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter that they're not training guys properly and ladies properly, but whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, by all means, sign more people. Why not?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah. Give these people exposure before they get ejected back out into the independent scene to make shitloads of money.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
Exactly. Speaking of, there are like a ton of people on the main roster who need to be cut. Mm-hmm. But after the Cody and Juice fiascos, in their mind fiascos, they're never going to cut them.
Yeah. And the ongoing saga of Tennille Dashwood, who is also, making waves quite a lot for herself. So
they're not cutting anybody unless they're like an actual felon.
Yeah. Not a chance.
They're not, or like James Ellsworth, utterly marginal.
Mm-hmm.
They're like,
it's just not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. They're not cutting guys. They should. Mm-hmm. The roster's too bloated.
It is.
Or they should put people in rotation more, but they don't.
Yep.
But whatever. It doesn't matter. We're doing it again, Chris. We're doing the thing we said we're not going to do.
Yep.
Analyzing the booking decisions of this company. All right, what's next?
WWE Evolution was announced earlier this week.
I hated this announcement, as I'm sure you know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the announcement
I don't hate the event. You know what? Real quick, it's easy to be cynical about the event, and because it is WWE and it is the main roster, technically, and we have seen the way they present professional wrestling. But you know what? There's plenty of time to be cynical about the show. For now, just enjoy the moment, of the show happening. You can be like me and hate the fact that it was our Lord and Savior Stephanie McMahon in the ring dating down another trinket to the women's roster.
Yeah, these continued events
where she graces us with her presence. I mean, she invented women's wrestling, Chris. You know that, right?
The degree to which these events continue to be just self-serving in the extreme continues to leave me.
And not only that, why are all the women are on the stage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they present the event and they all start hugging. It makes your roster look small. I know they don't care about storyline consistency. We've talked about that last week in excruciating detail.
Yeah.
But at least make an effort to care about storyline consistency.
Yeah.
But whatever. Steph came, she announced the thing, and then they referenced it about 6 million times on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I mean, it's Sunday during football season, but the only people who watch this company are nut jobs like us anyway, so.
No, nut jobs like not us, since neither one of us watch the main roster. So.
No. But, I mean, people like us who are hardcore wrestling fans.
Yep.
The day of the casual wrestling. First of all, a casual wrestling fan is not watching a network show.
Yeah.
They don't have the network.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing if it's Raw. Hey, what's on Raw? It's halftime of the football game. What's on Raw? Oh, cool. It's a match. Yep. I'll watch. That's not happening here. It's a network show.
Yeah. So. But yeah, again, the most self-serving announcement that they could possibly manage, because that is what they do. And it has already been announced that there are 5 matches already announced for this. We have a Raw Women's Championship match, a SmackDown Women's Championship match, an NXT Women's Championship match, United Kingdom Women's Championship match, and the finals of the 2018 Mae Young Classic.
But the finals are being taped a month and a half in advance, right?
No.
The finals are live.
The finals are going to be live.
Okay.
The actual event of the Mae Young Classic is being taped August 8th and 9th. So we have an even longer wait between the actual event and the finals than we did last year. Because, that makes a whole fucking bucket load of sense. Yeah. With all of the interviews that were done during the course of the event and the most recent Table for 3 that was released on WWE Network, you have to assume also that Trish Stratus and Lita will be wrestling at this event, given how many people have said that they wanted to wrestle one or both of them in those little vignette interviews and whatnot. So you have to assume that they're both going to be wrestling, as well as the majority of the women on both rosters, and probably some of the NXT women as well. There's also speculation that this is where the women's tag team titles are going to be introduced, and that there's going to be a women's tag team tournament that will be held on one or both shows leading up to the event. And obviously there's speculation about the Bellas making a return. I gotta say, as soon as that speculation hit, I immediately thought to myself, well, what's going to happen here? They're going to find some way to work John Cena into this show as being there for Nikki Bella, because that whole thing apparently has been a work all along. Because fuck this company. Okay, yeah, WWE.com has actually confirmed already that Lita, Trish Stratus, and Beth Phoenix will be part of the event, although they have not confirmed in what capacity they will be part of it. Although you'd have to assume that they're.
I hope it's not Beth Phoenix on commentary.
I would have to assume that they're all going to be in matches, given them all being part of.
I don't need any more Beth Phoenix on my commentary team.
Yeah, given that they were all part of this year's Women's Royal Rumble, I would not be surprised to see them all in matches.
Look,
So.
Look, more is better than less, right? So why not?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, hell, you might as well have
until and unless they fuck this up, this is a good thing.
Yeah.
And when they fuck it up, your intrepid podcasters will be here to throw shade at them for fucking it up.
Yeah, throw them all under the bus. Yeah.
But until then,
we will try to remain optimistic about it.
Yeah. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Do they break out the subtlety hammer and hit us all in the face with it over and over again? Yes. That's what they do. I actually kind of take solace in the fact that they treated this like they would treat any other big announcement by the men.
Yeah,
to be honest,
that's true.
By breaking out the subtlety hammer and calling attention to it the entire night.
Yeah,
that's exactly what they would.
That's
exactly what they would do with any other announcement. So that's kind of cool, to be honest. Like, oh, they're fucking this up the exact same way they fucked up every other show.
Yep.
So that's nice that they are egalitarian enough to treat their women's announcements like any other announcement.
Yeah.
So, but again, we shall see, my friend.
Yes. And finally, the final thing we're going to talk about.
A lot of TNA today. That's weird for us, but it was a good show.
Yeah.
But finally,
the final thing we're going to talk about today. This past week on NXT TV, yesterday for that matter, there was a match, an NXT title match between one Aleister Black and one Tommaso Ciampa.
The good guy won, my friend. Good guy won. Psycho killer.
I'm learning that on base. Did I tell you that I'm learning that on base?
What?
I'm actually learning that on base. Did I tell you that?
As well you should. As well all good men and women should.
Yeah.
I'm so happy we have a champ with charisma. I mean, Ciampa has outshone this guy, on takeovers, every takeover he's gotten. Black has been relegated to a second-class citizen in his own company, his own promotion. He is the CM Punk to Tommaso Ciampa's John Cena circa 2012/13. So why not just put the fucking belt back on John Cena?
Mm-hmm.
Tommaso's doing great work. I'm happy for him. Yes, it will be fucked up when he gets called up, but until then, enjoy it, man. Right?
Now the real question is, and I mean this is of course the thing that everybody's got to be expecting at this point. Is he just going to lose the belt to Johnny Gargano in Brooklyn?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, sure. Good. I'm not the only one that thinks this. Okay, good.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. It's like as soon as this happened, I was like, well, here comes Johnny Gargano, NXT champion.
Unless he loses to Gargano and slips even more into madness. Or he loses to Ciampa and Gargano slips even more into madness.
I don't think that they do that because, I mean, Brooklyn is their big show of the year. Brooklyn is where they do all the huge shit.
Will Paul White be in Brooklyn since it's their big show?
He always is.
Well,
wait. Oh, you meant Paul White. I don't know why when you said Paul White, I immediately went Paul Levesque. Yeah, of course he's going to be there. He does the intro every time. Paul.
That also needs to go away too. Speaking of self-serving.
Yeah,
but we talk, that shit needed to go away when he did it in London, like a day after not selling a beating from Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
that was like 3 years ago, and that shit needs to stop. The fucking Triple H circle jerk session.
Yeah, those need to go.
Those did not happen.
Yeah, but yeah, no. Paul White, I don't know if he'll be there. He usually isn't actually. Now that I think about it,
it's more of a Big Show reference.
Yeah, I know.
Not a very good one.
That was a terrible one.
Not a very good one.
That was a terrible one. But that's all right. But yeah. I have to assume.
I don't know. I can see him winning. I can see Gargano winning the belt.
Yeah, I would have to assume it's going to be.
The faces don't usually hold the belt for very long, so he'll win it just for a little bit.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? 292-day Finn Balor championship reign? Are you kidding me?
Finn wasn't the man though then.
Yes, he was.
That was the Bayley show and the Sasha show. How long did Bayley hold the belt for when she beat Sasha finally?
No, that's a good question. Hang on.
How long? I mean, they are a company that does shit. The chase matters more than the.
Bayley held the belt for 223 days.
Oh, no shit.
She's actually.
Wait, wasn't Balor hurt for a chunk of that?
No.
He had the bad ankle. I remember going to an NXT house show and Balor having a bad ankle and coming out on crutches.
Like he had a couple of issues along the way.
A little something going on.
But I mean, it wasn't a long lasting injury.
How long did Nakamura have the belt for?
Over both reigns, 147 days.
Okay.
The combined 2 reigns.
Bobby Roode had it for how long? Well, you got the
203.
And then who had it after that?
McIntyre for 91.
Mm-hmm. Andrade dropped it, then got hurt.
Andrade for 140. Alistair for 102. And now we're on Ciampa. But I mean, going back,
I don't think did they not do short reigns?
No, not really. I mean, when Joe's second reign only lasted 2 weeks,
but it was a second reign.
Yeah, Sami Zayn only had it for 62 days.
But that was no, yeah, that's kind of short. But I mean, if Tommaso loses it to Brooklyn's in like 3 weeks, right? 4 weeks?
Yeah, like a month. Yeah.
So that's going to be super short.
Yeah.
This is the same promotion that both Dallas have the championship for like 250 days.
280, yeah.
It's Bo Dallas.
Yeah. And then, that was also the freaking, the famine years when there was literally nobody else to be a championship holder. I mean, let's look at these first 4 reigns of NXT champions. Seth Rollins, 133 days.
Not bad.
Big E, 168. Bo Dallas, 280.
Oh,
Adrian Neville, 287.
Yeah, but Neville was good, though.
Oh, Neville was excellent, yeah. And so, I mean, of those 4, Bo Dallas is the only dud.
Bo Dallas is like, when you look at the list of NXT champions, you're like, how the fuck did we get this much Bo Dallas?
Yeah, Bo Dallas sticks out like a sore thumb among the list of NXT champions. But I mean, the rest of them is like, it's the fucking cream of the crop, So, I mean, all in all, I can't be mad about this. I really can't because Blackest champion was not being utilized properly, and it's unfortunate because he is a stellar performer and really deserves more shine. But what are you gonna do? You can't do anything about it. This is the company that just constantly fucks things up like this. So. It's unfortunate, but at least he's put on enough weight there so that he won't be relegated to 205 Live immediately.
Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Smart move. Mm-hmm. Smart move. Make sure you eat some carbs at the catering table.
Yeah. Keep hitting those apple pies, boy. Keep hitting those apple pies.
Yep, exactly. Have another round. Have some more chicken parm.
Yeah.
The answer to everything is more chicken parm.
Oh yeah, 100%. All right. That's gonna do it. We're done. No, we're done.
Oh, man, nice and tight. 90 minutes. You got plugs.
Yes, I do have plugs. Guys, you know by now that we are not the only wrestling podcast game in town. We have a number of excellent friends that we highly recommend you tune into because they do excellent work as well. And we think that your life will be aided by listening to them as professional wrestling fans.
We like them. We like you. Ergo, you should like them too.
Yes. And we start, of course, as we always do, with our friends over at Wednesday Night Shooting, Tanya Rogers and Andrew M. Swift, who you can find on Twitter at Militia Malice Joe and at Andrew M. Swift. Their takes are excellent. Their commentary is stellar, and everything that they bring to the table is cutting and to the point, which is what you need in the murk of WWE. So check out Wednesday Night Shooting. Find all of the information that you need that actually cuts through the crap that WWE spews out and tells it like it is. That's what you need in your life. If you're going to be watching WWE, you need some clear-cut, honest analysis, and you'll get that at Wednesday Night Shooting. Again, at Militia Malice Joe and at Andrew M. Swift for Wednesday Night Shooting and their wonderful hosts. Our friend Don Sal over at Cedar Bridge Media with Match Fixing. Don Sal, incredibly intelligent young man, knows his wrestling like no other. Great guy, good friend to both of us, and a good analysis in everything that he brings. You can find him.
The goodest of good brothers.
Yes, the goodest of good brothers. You can find him on his personal Twitter at Kusmano_Sal, and you can find Cedar Bridge Media at Cedar_Bridge to get all the latest on match fixing and everything that Don Sal has to offer. And of course, our brothers at Los Ingobernables de Podcast. Shooting Debris with Takers Mania and Mr. Dr. Senju on Saturday mornings at 11 Eastern, 10 Central. Starting your weekends off with all of the greatest wrestling coverage and their own unique takes on what's going on in the wrestling world. Get your breakfast, get your graps. Check out Shooting Debris. You can find them at Shootin' Debris 1. That's Shootin' Da Breez 1. And you can also find them on their personal accounts at Takers_Meaning and at MRDR Senju. Go check them out. They are excellent people. And, of course, you also have Taker's Minion on his Sunday night show, Connoisseurs of Wrestling, with Biff Kensington, and occasionally also Legends Lover. And now analyzing all the great history of professional wrestling and how it applies to the current day. You can check them out on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern on every Sunday that there is not a WWE pay-per-view taking place. Again, Connoisseurs of Wrestling. Follow Takers_Minion to get all the latest about when Connoisseurs of Wrestling is airing and what they're going to be talking about. All the great content in the wrestling podcast sphere. If you guys know of any other shows that you would like for us to plug, please get in touch with us. Let us know about them. Send us their information because we love to provide you guys with quality content, and we love it when you guys can participate in providing us with that quality content as well. You can follow us on Twitter as well on our personal accounts at CrazyChris576 and at GitSavas. You can also follow the show's Twitter at 2guys1sport, number 1 in the handle. You can also find us over on iTunes. Click the link below the video in the description here on YouTube to take you over to our iTunes page where you can subscribe, give us a rating, give us a recommendation, and of course, let everybody know in your wrestling group of friends to come and listen to us on Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, because we love having all you guys in the chat. We love having all of you guys talking with us and chatting and providing your own takes on things. We love to also hear what you guys want to talk about. So please feel free to hit us up on social media. Let us know what you guys want to hear us talk about. Give us some discussion points. Give us some questions, whatever you guys got to offer. We would love to hear from all of you and be able to contribute to what you're looking for in your wrestling podcast content. And if you're looking to have any sort of non-wrestling content in your life as well, you can head on over to twitch.tv/crazychris576. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, I can be found there streaming all the best video game content where I play mediocrely, most often Borderlands 2, although other games will also occasionally see their way into the schedule as it strikes my fancy. George is oftentimes in the chat as well, so you can
hang out with us. It's fun.
Hang out, chat us up. We like to chat with you guys.
Kills things that it's funny.
Yeah. It's always a good time. Side note, though, I will not be on my Twitch channel this Friday or Saturday. So tomorrow and Saturday, there will not be any broadcasts on my Twitch channel because I am going to be out of town. I'm going to be in New York visiting family, as I stated earlier in the show. So I'll be back on Sunday. So I hope to see you there on Sunday night if you can make it. And that's it. Is that it? Did I forget anything?
No, you got everything.
All right, excellent. Take us out of here, George. Take us home. Oh, Zed also, I believe Tanya is still waiting for word about what is going to be happening with her medical issue, but I'm sure that she will keep everybody updated and definitely follow her on Twitter for more information about that.
Good luck, TR. We love you.
Love you, girl.
As always, ladies and gentlemen, a sincere thank you for starting your weekend with us. Y'all make this show worth it. You make the show worth it too, Chris. I like talking to you.
You make it worth it as well, George. You make Thursdays better.
Thank you. You make every day better. But you especially make Thursdays better.
You're too kind.
And ladies and gents in the chat and listening on iTunes, you guys make Thursdays better too.
Yes, you do.
Be nice to each other. Be good to each other. Don't work yourselves into a shoot. That's Chris. I'm George. This is 2 Guys, 1 Sport. Have a great night, everybody.
Episode 68 is in the books.